close your eyes. Let the sounds of your room fade away. Let the weight of the day gently lift from your shoulders. Tonight, we are not going on a simple journey. We are embarking on an exploration into the profound, into the quietest, most solitary corner of existence we have ever discovered. We are traveling to a place defined not by its light, but by its absence, a place where the universe itself seems to hold its breath. Tonight, we journey to the Buddha's void, the great nothing. You do not need to understand complex physics or astronomy. You only need to listen, to imagine, and to allow your mind to float in the vast, peaceful emptiness that awaits. We will discover a secret about our universe, that its most staggering feature might not be a brilliant star or a swirling galaxy, but a place where there is almost nothing at all. Before we begin our voyage into the great empty, we must first understand the landscape of our universe as we know it. Picture the cosmos not as a random scattering of stars, but as an impossibly vast and intricate structure. Astronomers call it the cosmic web. Imagine a delicate, shimmering spider web stretching across billions of light years. The threads of this web are glowing filaments made of dark matter, and strung along these threads, like dewdrops glittering in the morning sun, are the galaxies. Billions of them. Our own Milky Way is just one such dewdrop on one such thread. Where these filaments cross, they form massive knots, superclusters of galaxies, bustling cosmic cities teeming with light and life and energy. Between these threads are vast, darker regions known as voids. Most are like quiet countrysides next to the bright cities. But the place we are going tonight is different. It is not a countryside. It is a cosmic ocean. A void so large, so empty, that its discovery in 1981 forever changed our map of the night sky and our understanding of cosmic structure. It was a discovery that whispered a profound truth. The universe is not uniform. It has texture, shape, and vast silent places that defy easy explanation. Our journey begins now with a single, gentle thought. Imagine yourself lifting away from the earth, rising silently through the layers of the atmosphere. The blue marble shrinks below, a beautiful, swirling jewel of life and color. We pass the moon, a silent, pockmarked guardian, and drift out into our solar system. The sun becomes just the brightest star in a sea of countless others. The familiar planets, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn with its ethereal rings, become small points of light, then fade into the general glimmer of the cosmos. We are leaving home behind, but not with a sense of loss. Instead, feel a sense of expansion, of release. The gravitational pull of our star loosens its grip. We are now in interstellar space, the quiet neighborhood between the stars of our own galaxy. Here, there is a gentle haze of dust and gas, the stuff from which new stars are born. Nebulae glow with soft, pastel colors. Vast clouds of creation where stellar nurseries are quietly at work. Think of it as the gentle, flowing river of our home galaxy. We are drifting along this river, moving towards the edge of our own Milky Way, preparing to make the leap into the true deep. The silence here is profound, broken only by the gentle hum of your own imagination. The light of a billion sibling stars surrounds us, a comforting, familiar blanket against the dark. We are still within the city limits of our galaxy, a place of comforting light and known celestial landmarks. But our destination lies far beyond these familiar shores, in a realm of unimaginable scale and stillness. Let the gentle current of our journey carry you outward, further and further, as the dense spiral arms of our home galaxy begin to thin, preparing us for the next great step into the intergalactic void that separates us from our neighbors. Now we cross the threshold. With a final, silent push, we leave the outer spiral arms of the Milky Way behind. The great, swirling disk of our home galaxy now appears as a magnificent, luminous island in space. From this vantage point, we can see its full structure, a beautiful pinwheel of light and dust. Our sun, just one of 100 billion stars, lost in the luminous haze. We are now in intergalactic space, the vast, dark sea that lies between the islands of galaxies. Our closest neighbor, the Andromeda Galaxy, hangs in the distance, a similar spiral island, its light having traveled for over 2 million years to reach us. Around us are the smaller dwarf galaxies of our local group, like little coastal towns scattered around the 2 major cities of the Milky Way and Andromeda. This is our local cosmic neighborhood. It feels vast, but in the grand scheme of things, it is an intimate, connected space. The galaxies here are bound by gravity, slowly moving towards one another in a graceful, cosmic dance that will unfold over billions of years. We continue our journey outward, leaving this entire local group behind. The collection of galaxies shrinks, becoming a small, bright cluster in our rear view, a memory of home. The darkness deepens, the scale expands. We are now traveling through the Virgo supercluster, the massive filament of the cosmic web to which our own local group belongs. Imagine that shimmering thread of the web we spoke of earlier. We are now traveling along it. To our left and right, we see other groups and clusters of galaxies strung out along this invisible cosmic highway. It is a breathtaking sight. A river of light composed of thousands of galaxies flowing through the universe. This is the normal state of the cosmos, a universe filled with structure, with connections, with light. We must appreciate this structure, this fullness, to truly comprehend the nature of the place we are about to enter. Feel the gentle motion as we drift along this filament, passing by ancient elliptical galaxies, young, vibrant spiral ones, all part of this grand, interconnected cosmic family. Let this image of a full, vibrant universe settle in your mind. It is the canvas upon which the great nothing will soon be revealed. Let your mind drift, and imagine now, as our cosmic journey progresses ever deeper into the unknown, that the very fabric of the universe around us begins to undergo a profound and subtle transformation. The rich, vibrant threads of light, the galactic filaments that have served as our celestial highways, now start to appear more delicate, more ethereal, stretching thin until they are like single strands of spun starlight against an endless black. The dense, magnificent clusters of galaxies, those breathtaking cities of 1 billion suns that once dominated our perception, are now slowly, gently receding into the infinite distance behind us. Picture them as the lights of a vast, sleeping continent, a familiar shoreline that is now disappearing over the horizon as our silent vessel sails out into the boundless, dark ocean of intergalactic space. The void between these shimmering cosmic threads begins to widen, to expand, to assert its presence. At first, this change is almost imperceptible, a quiet diminuendo in the grand, silent symphony of creation. It is a shift in the cosmos that you might feel more deeply than you could ever see, a palpable sense of growing openness, of an almost sacred expanse unfolding before us. The darkness nestled between the distant stars seems to acquire a new depth, a more profound and absolute character. It is no longer a simple absence of light, not an empty, lifeless blackness, but a rich, velvety, living darkness that seems to cradle the ancient secrets of time itself. Let us use another image to guide our senses. Think of a peaceful walk through a dense, ancient forest at the moment of deepest twilight. In this forest, the towering trees are the galaxies. Their countless leaves are the individual stars, each a world of its own. In the beginning of our walk, these celestial trees are all around you, forming a magnificent canopy of life and shimmering light. But as we continue our gentle forward drift, we begin to approach a vast and unexpected clearing. The galactic trees become more sparse. Their branches of stars no longer intertwine. The grand canopy above us opens up, revealing not a simple patch of sky, but an impossibly vast, open firmament stretching into true infinity. This is the very sensation of our approach to the Buddha's void. We are peacefully departing the familiar cosmic woods of the Virgo supercluster. The cosmic web, this beautiful, impossibly intricate network of dark matter and luminous galaxies, is visibly fraying at its edges, its structure dissolving into the profound emptiness ahead. The ancient light from the most distant quasars, those powerful beacons from the dawn of the universe, must now travel through this increasingly barren structure to reach our imaginary viewpoint. And in its journey, it tells a story. It speaks of a region where matter is profoundly scarce, where the fundamental building blocks of cosmic architecture have been swept clean, or perhaps were never laid down in the first place. The silence deepens, becoming an entity in itself. This is not the simple silence of a quiet room on Earth, but a silence that possesses both weight and texture. It is the absolute silence of immense, unimaginable distance, the silence of photons that have traveled for billions of years, only to find absolutely nothing in their path to obstruct them. We are floating now on the very precipice of the great nothing, a domain of the universe defined not by the glory of what it contains, but by the staggering, humbling reality of what it does not. And as we drift ever closer, the last few solitary, lonely galaxies that cling to this shore of the void seem to offer a slow, silent, spiraling farewell, their ancient arms of stars turning like cosmic windmills against the encroaching, infinite, and peaceful dark. We have arrived at the edge. Before us lies the Buddha's void. Take a moment to simply float here at the shore of this cosmic ocean of emptiness. Look back the way we came. In the distance, you can see the faint, shimmering structure of the cosmic web, a delicate lattice of light against the black. It looks like the distant lights of a sprawling city, seen from a high mountain on a clear night. It is a reminder of the universe that is full, the universe of structure and matter and energy. Now, turn your gaze forward. Before you is nothing, an almost perfect, unbroken, and profound darkness. The sheer scale of it is difficult for the human mind to grasp. This is not a small pocket of empty space. The void we are about to enter is nearly 330 million light years in diameter. Let's try to visualize this. If our own Milky Way galaxy, with its hundreds of billions of stars, were a small marble, you would need to line up more than 2,000 of these marbles side by side to cross the Buddha's void. It is a chasm of cosmic proportions. For centuries, when we looked up at the night sky, we assumed the stars were scattered more or less evenly. But this void tells us that is not true. It tells us the universe has a grand architecture, and this is one of its great empty rooms. The astronomers who discovered it in 1981 were stunned. They pointed their telescopes at this patch of sky, expecting to see a rich field of distant galaxies, just like everywhere else. But they found nothing. It was as if someone had taken a giant cosmic cookie cutter and removed a huge chunk of the universe. This emptiness is not just visual. It is a void of matter, a void of gravity, a void of light. As we float here at its edge, there is a palpable sense of stillness. The gravitational tides from massive galaxy clusters no longer pull at us. The radiation from brilliant star-forming regions no longer washes over us. It is a place of profound peace, of absolute quiet. Let go of any preconceived notions of what space should be. Release the expectation of light and activity. Prepare to enter a realm where the dominant feature is absence. And in that absence, we may find a different kind of beauty, a different kind of understanding. We are ready to cross the threshold, to leave the shore of light and drift into the heart of the great nothing. Let the journey continue as we push off from the last filament of galaxies and commit ourselves to the serene, dark waters of the void. We are now inside. The crossing was not a sudden event, but a gradual immersion. The last faint glimmers of the distant galactic filaments have faded from view. We are untethered, floating in the center of the Buddha's void. Look around in your mind's eye. In every direction, the view is the same. An endless, deep, velvety black. It is a darkness so complete, so pure, that it feels like a physical presence, a soft blanket enveloping everything. There are no nearby galaxies to illuminate the scene, no nebulae painting the void with soft colors, no clusters of stars to act as celestial landmarks. We are in a state of sensory minimalism. The universe has been reduced to its most fundamental component, space itself. The silence here is absolute. If you could somehow listen, you would hear nothing. Not the hiss of interstellar gas, not the gravitational whispers of passing stars. The only sound is the sound of your own quiet breathing, the gentle rhythm of your own heart. This is the sound of solitude on a cosmic scale. But let us not mistake this solitude for loneliness. Think of it instead as a state of perfect peace. All the noise, all the chaos, all the endless activity of the universe we left behind is gone. Here, there is only stillness. There is only the vast, unchanging darkness. It is a meditative state imposed upon us by the very nature of our surroundings. The emptiness allows for a clarity of thought, a sense of perspective that is impossible to achieve in the cluttered, busy regions of the cosmos. Imagine all of your worries, all of your stresses, all of the small concerns of daily life. Now, release them into this void. Watch as they dissolve into the immensity of the space around you. They become smaller and smaller until they are less than a speck of dust, completely insignificant in the face of this 300 million light-year expanse of nothing. This is the gift of the Buddha's void. It is a cosmic reset button, a place that, by its very emptiness, reminds us of what is truly important. It strips away the non-essential and leaves only the quiet, contemplative core of being. Feel the gentle, buoyant sensation of floating in this space. There is no up or down, no right or wrong, just a perfect, serene equilibrium. We will spend some time here, drifting in the heart of the great nothing, allowing its profound peace to seep into every part of our being. As we continue to float in this immense, dark sanctuary, let's explore the nature of this emptiness more closely. Is it truly, completely empty? The answer, surprisingly, is no. The name void is a bit of a misnomer. It is not a perfect vacuum, devoid of all matter and energy. It is simply a region that is profoundly underdense. Compared to the cosmic web we traveled through, where galaxies are clustered together, this area is extraordinarily sparse. Scientists estimate that if the universe were a vast, bustling city, the Buddha's void would be a stretch of desert, containing only a few scattered houses, over an area the size of a large country. So, there is something here. As our eyes and senses adjust to the deep, profound darkness, we might begin to perceive the faintest of presences. There are whispers of matter here, stray atoms of hydrogen and helium, the primordial elements from the Big Bang, drift silently through the void. They are the cosmic ghosts, the remnants of the material that never coalesced into stars and galaxies. There is also dark matter, that mysterious, invisible substance that makes up the bulk of the universe's mass. Even here, in this great emptiness, its invisible web is thought to persist, though it is stretched incredibly thin, a faint, ghostly skeleton with no luminous matter to cling to it. And there is light, not the bright, concentrated light of stars, but the oldest light in the universe. This is the cosmic microwave background radiation, the faint afterglow of the Big Bang itself. It permeates all of space, including this void. Imagine it as a gentle, uniform, and incredibly faint warmth, a whisper from the moment of creation, 13.8 billion years ago. It is the universe's oldest memory, and it is here with us, a subtle, constant companion in the darkness. So the void is not empty. It is simply quiet. It is a place where the universe exists in its most subtle, most fundamental state. It is a place to appreciate the quiet things, the subtle energies, the ancient whispers that are usually drowned out by the bright shouts of stars and galaxies. Let this understanding deepen your sense of peace. We are not in a place of absolute nothingness, but in a place of supreme tranquility, where the universe's faintest voices can finally be heard. Now that we have come to understand the subtle nature of this space, let us embark on a search for the lonely inhabitants of this cosmic desert. In the 1980s, after the void's initial discovery, astronomers began a more careful survey, and they found them. A handful of galaxies scattered like tiny, isolated islands across this vast ocean of night. To date, we have identified about 60 galaxies within the immense expanse of the Buddha's void. 60. In a region where we would expect to find thousands, or even tens of thousands. let us journey towards one of these lonely islands of light. Imagine it appearing in the distance, a faint, fuzzy patch against the perfect black. As we draw closer, its structure becomes clear. It might be a small spiral galaxy, its arms turning slowly, gracefully, in the endless dark. Or perhaps an irregular galaxy, a small, beautiful cloud of stars with no defined shape. Whatever its form, its existence here is a miracle, a small pocket of creation in a universe of emptiness. This galaxy is one of the most isolated objects in the entire known universe. From a planet orbiting a star in this galaxy, the night sky would be a breathtaking yet humbling sight. Looking in one direction, you might see the faint, distant wall of the cosmic web, a shimmering, milky band on the horizon. But in every other direction, for hundreds of millions of light years, you would see nothing but pure, unadulterated blackness. The concept of constellations, of a sky filled with neighbors, would be completely alien. It would be a sky of profound solitude. And yet, this galaxy is a complete universe unto itself. It has billions of stars. It has nebulae where new stars are being born. It has planets orbiting those stars. It has the potential for life, for consciousness, for beings who might look out at their profoundly empty sky and wonder if they are truly alone. Let us pause our journey here, near this lonely galaxy. Let us appreciate its resilience, its beauty. It is a testament to the fact that even in the most desolate corners of the cosmos, light can exist. Life can persist. The universe finds a way to create, even when surrounded by an overwhelming void. This lonely island serves as a powerful symbol of hope and tenacity, a single candle burning brightly in the largest, darkest room we have ever found. From our vantage point near this solitary galaxy, let us turn our attention to the great question that hangs in the silent air around us. How did this happen? How could such a vast region of the universe become so empty? The existence of the Buddha's void presents a profound puzzle for cosmologists. According to our standard models of the universe's evolution, a void of this immense size should simply not have had enough time to form. Since the Big Bang, the universe is about 13.8 billion years old. The processes of gravity that pull matter together to form galaxies and filaments and sweep other regions clean work slowly over immense timescales to create a void 330 million light years across. These processes would need more time than the universe has actually existed. It is a cosmic conundrum. So, scientists have proposed a few fascinating, almost poetic explanations. One of the leading ideas is the theory of merging voids. Imagine the early universe as a frothy, foamy substance. The bubbles in this foam are smaller, individual voids. Over cosmic time, just as soap bubbles merge to form larger bubbles, these smaller voids may have coalesced. The Buddha's void in this scenario would be the result of a cascade of smaller voids merging together, pushing the galaxies and matter to their edges, creating the filaments of the cosmic web and leaving behind this one enormous superbubble of emptiness. It is a beautiful image. The universe is a gentle, cosmic foam, slowly rearranging itself into the structure we see today. Another more exotic possibility involves the very nature of cosmic inflation, the rapid expansion of the universe in the first moments after the Big Bang. Perhaps quantum fluctuations during this period were amplified, creating a massive region that was born with a lower density of matter from the very beginning. In this view, the void isn't something that was carved out of the universe. It is a feature that was imprinted upon it from its birth, an ancient scar from the moment of creation. We don't need to choose one theory over the other. For our journey, it is enough to simply appreciate the mystery. The boat's void is a reminder that the universe is still full of surprises. It is a place that challenges our assumptions and forces us to think in new and creative ways. It is a beautiful, silent monument to the fact that we still have so much to learn, so much to discover. Let the mystery of its origin add to the sense of awe and peace that surrounds us here in the quiet heart of the void. Let us now drift away from the lonely galaxy, our temporary anchor in the sea of nothing, and move back into the true center of the void. We are once again surrounded by that perfect, uniform darkness. Here, in this place of profound minimalism, we can contemplate the very nature of space and time. In the busy parts of the universe, our perception of time is often tied to events, the orbit of a planet, the life cycle of a star, the collision of galaxies. But here, what is time? The passage of eons could occur with almost no visible change. The few drifting hydrogen atoms would continue their lonely journey. The cosmic microwave background would continue its slow, steady cooling. But the grand, dramatic clockwork of the cosmos is absent here. Time itself feels stretched, dilated, almost still. This stillness offers a unique perspective. It allows us to feel the true age of the universe. We are floating in a space that has likely remained unchanged for billions of years, and will remain unchanged for billions more. It is a direct connection to the ancient, primordial state of the cosmos. Think about the journey of a single photon of light born in a distant galaxy on the far side of the void. For hundreds of millions of years, it has traveled in a perfectly straight line through this emptiness. It has not been bent by the gravity of a star, absorbed by a cloud of dust, or blocked by a planet. Its journey has been pure, uninterrupted, a direct line of sight across a vast chasm of space. We are floating in a region of ultimate clarity. This purity of space is not just a poetic concept. It is a scientific tool. Astronomers can use the light from objects behind the void to study the faintest traces of matter within it, and to understand the expansion of the universe itself. The emptiness becomes a perfect laboratory for observing the subtle laws of physics on the largest possible scales. So as we float here, let's not see this as a dead or useless part of the universe. Let's see it as a place of clarity, of purity, of stillness. It is the universe in its most elemental form. It is the quiet canvas upon which the more dramatic and brilliant masterpieces of creation are painted. To understand the painting, we must first understand the canvas. And here in the Buddha's void, we are in direct communion with that canvas. Allow this sense of pure, clean, and infinite space to wash over you, clearing your mind and calming your spirit. Let the stillness of the void become your own stillness. Let's explore the colors of this darkness. At first glance, it is simply black. But as we allow our senses to expand, to become more sensitive, we can perceive subtle shades and textures within the void. The blackness is not flat. It has depth. It is a three-dimensional volumetric darkness that extends in all directions forever. Imagine the difference between a black painted wall and the open doorway of a deep, dark cave at midnight. The wall is a surface. The cave entrance is a volume. The Buddha's void is like that cave entrance, a doorway into an infinite depth. And within this depth, there is the faintest of glows. As we mentioned, the cosmic microwave background radiation is everywhere. While we cannot see it with our eyes, we can imagine its presence as a soft, uniform, almost imperceptible warmth. It is the faintest possible light, stretched by the expansion of the universe for 13.8 billion years from brilliant, high-energy gamma rays into cool, low-energy microwaves. It gives the darkness a temperature, a baseline energy. It is not the cold, absolute zero of a theoretical perfect vacuum. It is a gentle 2.7 Kelvin above absolute zero, a faint, residual warmth from the fires of creation. Now let's imagine the other colors present here. The color of dark matter, which is transparency. It does not emit, reflect, or block light. Its presence is inferred only through its gravitational influence, which is incredibly weak here. So imagine vast, invisible structures, ghostly filaments and halos, stretching through the void, completely imperceptible to our senses, yet forming the underlying skeleton of this empty space. And then there's the color of dark energy, the mysterious force that is causing the expansion of the universe to accelerate. Here, in the void, where the gravitational pull of matter is at its minimum, the push of dark energy is at its most dominant. We can imagine it as a gentle, persistent, and irresistible pressure, slowly stretching the fabric of space-time itself, making this vast void even vaster with every passing moment. It is a silent, invisible force that is shaping the ultimate destiny of the entire cosmos, and its effects are felt most purely here. So the void is not just black. It is a complex tapestry of microwaves, transparent matter, and invisible energy. It is a subtle, minimalist masterpiece, a quiet symphony played in frequencies and forces far beyond our normal human perception. Let's appreciate these hidden colors, these invisible forces, as we continue our peaceful drift through the heart of the great nothing. As our journey through the Buddha's void continues, let's take a moment to reflect on our own place in the cosmos. Floating here in this vast, underdense region gives us a perspective that is profoundly humbling. From this vantage point, our home, the Earth, is not even a speck of dust. It is a subatomic particle, lost in the luminous haze of a single star, which is itself lost in a single galaxy, which is just one of thousands, clustered on a single shimmering thread of the cosmic web, hundreds of millions of light years away. All of human history, all of our triumphs and tragedies, all of our art and science has played out on a stage so small that it is completely invisible from here. This realization is not meant to be frightening or to diminish our importance. On the contrary, it can be liberating. It can help us to see our own problems, our own worries, in a new light. The things that seem so large and overwhelming in our daily lives, when viewed against the backdrop of the Buddha's void, shrink to their true, manageable size. This place is a silent teacher of perspective. It teaches us about the difference between the immediate and the ultimate. It encourages us to take a step back, to breathe, and to see the bigger picture. The universe is vast, ancient, and for the most part, peacefully empty. Our lives are brief, precious, and happen in a tiny, miraculous oasis of density and complexity. The contrast between the two is what gives our existence its meaning. The fact that in all this vastness, a place like Earth can exist, where matter has organized itself into conscious beings capable of contemplating the void itself, is the most profound wonder of all. So let us feel a sense of gratitude. Gratitude for living in a dense and interesting part of the universe. Gratitude for the light of our sun, for the company of our neighboring stars, for the beautiful, intricate structure of our home galaxy. The void is beautiful in its simplicity and peace, but it is the complexity of our home that allows for life as we know it. This journey into the emptiness is not about escaping our world, but about appreciating it more deeply upon our return. Let this feeling of profound gratitude and cosmic perspective fill your mind. Let it bring you a sense of peace and acceptance. We are small, yes, but we are also part of this grand, magnificent, and mysterious whole. And our ability to wonder about it all is what makes us truly special. Let's explore the shape and texture of the Bota's void more deeply. While we often refer to it as a sphere for simplicity, its true shape is likely more complex and irregular. Think back to the analogy of merging soap bubbles. The final shape of the large merged bubble is not a perfect sphere, but a more organic, curved volume, defined by the walls of the smaller bubbles that came together. So as we drift through this space, we can imagine its boundaries not as a hard, defined wall, but as a soft, diffuse transition. The density of galaxies does not suddenly drop to zero. It gradually fades out, like the sound of a city fading as you drive into the countryside at night. The void is not a hole that has been punched in the universe. It is a natural feature of its large-scale structure, a gentle valley in the cosmic landscape. And this valley has its own subtle topography. Even within the void, the distribution of the 60 or so known galaxies is not random. They seem to be arranged in a loose, tubular structure, a kind of faint, ghostly filament of their own, stretching through the heart of the emptiness. Imagine a very thin, very delicate bridge of matter spanning this vast, cosmic canyon. This structure is a clue, a fossil record of how the void might have formed, perhaps hinting at the boundaries of the smaller voids that merged to create it. It suggests that even in the emptiest regions, the organizing principles of the cosmic web still hold sway, albeit in a very faint and skeletal form. This internal structure makes the void even more fascinating. It is not a monotonous, uniform nothingness. It has features. It has a history written in the faint distribution of its few inhabitants. It is a place with a story to tell for those who are patient enough to listen to its silence. Let us imagine we are drifting alongside this faint, tubular structure of galaxies. They are our guides, our lonely lighthouses as we navigate this immense darkness. Each one is a small point of reference in the otherwise featureless expanse. Their presence gives the void a sense of direction, a subtle grain or texture. It is a reminder that nowhere in the universe is truly random. Everywhere there are patterns, structures, and the lingering echoes of the cosmic evolution that has been unfolding for 13.8 billion years. Allow your mind to trace this faint, ghostly bridge of light across the vastness, feeling the subtle order that exists even in the heart of the great nothing. Let us consider the future of the Buddha's void. As we float here, suspended in its quiet heart, we are not just in a place, but also in a moment in time. The universe is not static. It is evolving, changing, and the force driving that change is most dominant right here. That force is dark energy, the mysterious anti-gravitational pressure that is causing the expansion of the universe to accelerate. In the dense regions of the cosmic web, gravity is strong enough to overcome this expansion. Galaxy clusters hold themselves together. Our own Milky Way and the Andromeda Galaxy are actually moving towards each other, destined to merge in a few billion years. But here, in the void, there is very little matter and therefore very little gravity. The outward push of dark energy reigns supreme. What does this mean for the future? It means that the Buddha's void is growing. The fabric of space-time within the void is stretching, expanding at an accelerating rate. The lonely galaxies scattered within it are being carried away from each other, their faint light taking longer and longer to cross the ever-widening gulf between them. The void is becoming even emptier, even more silent. The walls of the cosmic web that define its boundaries are also receding, being pushed away by this relentless expansion. Over unimaginably long timescales, trillions of years from now, this process will have dramatic consequences for the universe as a whole. The superclusters of galaxies will remain as gravitationally bound islands, but the voids between them will have expanded so much that these islands will be completely isolated from one another. The light from one supercluster will no longer be able to reach any other. The night sky of the far future will be a profoundly lonely one. In a way, the Buddhist void is a glimpse into the ultimate fate of our cosmos. It is a preview of the quiet, dark, and ever-expanding universe that will exist long after the last stars have burned out. But this vision of the future should not be a source of sadness. It is simply the natural, serene, and ultimate progression of the cosmic story. It is a story that ends not with a bang, but with a quiet, peaceful, and infinite expansion into silence. By being here in the Buddha's void today, we are experiencing a taste of that ultimate cosmic peace. We are connecting with the destiny of the universe. Let this feeling of deep time, of cosmic evolution, bring you a sense of calm and acceptance. We are part of a story that is far grander and longer than we can possibly imagine. Let's turn our attention back to the human element of this story, to the moment of discovery. Picture the year 1981. Astronomers Robert Kirshner, Augustus Oemler, Paul Schechter, and Stephen Schechtman are conducting a survey of galaxies in a region of the sky in the direction of the constellation Boötis, the herdsman. They are using the telescopes at Kitt Peak National Observatory in Arizona. Their work involves patiently measuring the redshifts of distant galaxies. A redshift is a clever way to measure a galaxy's distance from us. The greater the redshift, the farther away the galaxy is, and the faster it is receding from us due to the expansion of the universe. They pointed their instruments to a specific patch of sky and began collecting data, expecting to find a typical distribution of galaxies at various distances. As the data came in, a strange and perplexing pattern began to emerge, or rather, a lack of a pattern. In a huge range of redshifts, corresponding to a vast volume of space, there were simply no galaxies. At first, they likely suspected an error in their equipment or their calculations. It was a result so unexpected, so contrary to the prevailing wisdom of the time, that it seemed impossible. The universe was thought to be homogeneous on large scales, like a well-mixed soup. Finding a massive hole in it was like finding a giant, empty bubble in the middle of that soup. They checked and rechecked their data. They pointed their telescopes to confirm their findings, and the conclusion was inescapable. They had stumbled upon something monumental, a great nothing. Can you imagine the feeling in that observatory control room? The quiet hum of the electronics, the faint glow of the monitors displaying the startling data, a sense of profound awe, of disbelief, of being the first human beings to ever lay eyes on such a feature of the cosmos. It was a moment that fundamentally altered our mental map of the universe. It was the cosmic equivalent of the first explorers seeing the Grand Canyon or the Pacific Ocean. It was a discovery that the universe was not just strange, but stranger than we had imagined. Let's take a moment to honor that spirit of discovery, that quiet, patient work of looking out into the darkness and trying to understand what is there. Our peaceful, imaginary journey tonight is only possible because of the curiosity and dedication of these scientists, and many others like them, who spend their lives mapping the great unknown. Their discovery was not just a data point, it was an invitation to wonder, an invitation that we are accepting here tonight as we float peacefully in the very void they revealed to the world. Having contemplated its discovery, let us now use our imagination to shrink ourselves down, to experience the Buddha's void, not on a cosmic scale, but on a quantum level. The emptiness here is, as we've established, not absolute. It is filled with the faint glow of the cosmic microwave background, but it is also filled with something else, something predicted by the laws of quantum mechanics. It is filled with virtual particles. According to quantum field theory, a vacuum is not truly empty. It is a seething, bubbling cauldron of potential. Particles and their antimatter counterparts are constantly popping into existence, living for the briefest fraction of a second, and then annihilating each other, returning their borrowed energy to the vacuum. This is happening everywhere in the universe, all the time. But in the dense regions of space, this quantum foam is just one subtle effect among many. Here, in the profound emptiness of the Buddha's void, this fundamental activity of the vacuum itself becomes a more prominent feature of reality. Imagine we could see this process. The perfect blackness around us would be filled with tiny, momentary sparks of light, like fireflies on a summer night, appearing and vanishing in an instant. A constant, silent, and incredibly rapid flicker of existence and non-existence. This is the baseline energy of the universe, the so-called zero-point energy. It is the energy that space itself possesses, even when it is completely empty of matter. This quantum activity is the heartbeat of the void. It is a reminder that even in the quietest, most desolate place we can imagine, the universe is never truly still. The fundamental laws of physics are always at play, weaving a reality that is far more dynamic and strange than our classical intuition would suggest. So, as we float here, Let's add this layer to our perception of the void. It is not just a vast, dark, and silent space. It is a quantum stage, where the drama of existence and annihilation plays out an infinite number of times every second. It is a place where the distinction between something and nothing becomes beautifully blurred. Let this thought deepen our sense of awe. The universe is not just vast and empty, it is fundamentally, mysteriously, and beautifully alive, even in its darkest corners. The silence of the void is not the silence of death, but the silence of a deep, underlying, and ever-present hum of pure potential. Let's return to one of the lonely inhabitants of this void, one of the 60 or so known galaxies. Let's choose one, a galaxy known as MCG plus 01-0-2-015. It is a beautiful, lonely spiral and a fascinating object of study. What is life like for a galaxy in the void? In many ways, it is a much more peaceful existence than that of a galaxy like our own Milky Way. Our galaxy is part of the bustling local group, and it is constantly interacting with its neighbors. We are currently absorbing several smaller dwarf galaxies. The Sagittarius dwarf galaxy is being torn apart by our gravity as we speak. In 4.5 billion years, we are set for a major collision and a merger with the Andromeda galaxy. These interactions are dramatic. They trigger massive bursts of star formation. They disrupt the graceful spiral structures, and they fling stars out into intergalactic space. It is a dynamic, chaotic, and sometimes violent environment. But for a galaxy like MCG plus 01-02-015, life is much more serene. It has no close neighbors to disturb it. It has likely existed in a state of peaceful, splendid isolation for billions of years. Its evolution has been slow, gentle, and undisturbed. It has not been fueled by the gas stripped from other galaxies, so its rate of star formation is likely very slow and steady. It is an old soul of a galaxy, developing at its own pace, in its own time. If we were to examine its stars, we might find that they are, on average, older and contain fewer heavy elements than the stars in our own galaxy, because there have been fewer generations of supernovae to enrich the interstellar gas. It is a pristine, almost chemically primitive environment. It's a living fossil from an earlier, quieter time in the universe's history. Floating near this galaxy, we can appreciate this different mode of cosmic existence. It is a life of solitude, of stability, of slow, graceful change. It lacks the drama and chaos of a crowded galactic cluster, but it has a deep, abiding peace. It is a reminder that there is not just one way for a galaxy to be. The universe is diverse enough to support both the bustling cosmic metropolis and the quiet, isolated country hermitage. Let the image of this peaceful, isolated galaxy add to your own sense of calm. Imagine its slow, gentle rotation, a cosmic ballet performed without an audience for billions of years in the heart of the great nothing. It is a symbol of self-sufficiency and serene endurance. As we continue to explore the Boot's void, let's consider its impact on our human imagination. This place, this concept of a great nothing, has a powerful resonance with our art, our philosophy, and our spiritual traditions. Throughout history, humanity has had a complex relationship with the idea of emptiness. Sometimes it is feared, seen as a symbol of loss, of nothingness, of the abyss. But in many other traditions, emptiness, or the void, is seen as a place of potential, of purity, of enlightenment. In meditation practices, the goal is often to quiet the mind, to create an inner void, free from the clutter of thoughts, in order to achieve a state of clarity and peace. The Buddha's void can be seen as the physical manifestation of this meditative state on a cosmic scale. It is the universe's quiet mind. It is a place free from the chatter of starlight, a place of pure, uncluttered being. Artists and writers have long been fascinated by vast, empty landscapes, the desert, the ocean, the polar ice caps. These places have a way of dwarfing the individual, of silencing the ego, and of inspiring a sense of awe and transcendence. The Buddha's void is the ultimate empty landscape. It is the desert, the ocean, and the pole all rolled into one on a scale that defies earthly comparison. Its existence invites us to create our own meaning. In a place devoid of features, our own consciousness, our own imagination becomes the most prominent thing. It becomes a mirror, reflecting our own thoughts, our own feelings about solitude, about infinity, about our place in the universe. What do you see when you look into this void? Do you see a frightening emptiness or a peaceful sanctuary? Do you feel a sense of loneliness or a sense of liberation? There is no right answer. The void is a canvas, and we are the artists. Tonight, let us choose to paint a picture of peace upon this canvas. Let us see the void not as an absence, but as a presence. The presence of stillness, the presence of potential, the presence of a profound and humbling beauty that lies not in what is there, but in the space that allows everything else to be. Let the Buddha's void be a source of inspiration, a cosmic muse for your own journey into inner peace and quiet contemplation. Let us refine our understanding of the scale of the void one more time, using a more terrestrial analogy. Imagine that our entire Milky Way galaxy, a structure 100,000 light years across, containing up to 400 billion stars, is reduced to the size of a single grain of sand. Now imagine a large, empty room, not just any room, but a vast cathedral, a grand hall about 100 meters or about 330 feet long. In this analogy, the Buddha's void is this cathedral, and within this entire cavernous space, there would be only 60 scattered grains of sand. That is the level of emptiness we are talking about. Walk through this imaginary cathedral in your mind. Feel the vastness of the space around you. Hear the echo of your footsteps in the profound silence. Look at the immense, empty volume of air, and then see a single grain of sand on the floor in the distance. That is a galaxy. That is the scale of the solitude. Now let's take this analogy a step further. The walls of this cathedral are not made of stone, but of countless trillions of grains of sand, packed together so densely that they form a shimmering, luminous surface. That is the cosmic web, the superclusters of galaxies that surround the void. We have journeyed from that glittering wall across the vast, empty floor to find one of these few, lonely grains. This mental image helps to move the scale of the void from an abstract number, 330 million light years, into something more tangible, more emotionally resonant. It highlights the profound contrast between the normal universe and this exceptional place. It underscores the surprise and awe that astronomers felt when they first discovered this empty cathedral in the grand city of the cosmos. Hold this image in your mind, the vast, silent cathedral, the 60 lonely grains of sand, and the shimmering, impossibly distant walls of light. Let it be a mental touchstone for the scale of the universe and for the profound peace that can be found in its quietest, most empty spaces. Let the feeling of that vast, open space bring a sense of calm and release to your own mind. Now let's think about the name itself. Bodas, the herdsman, the constellation in our sky that gives this void its name. Let's take a moment to connect this vast, abstract cosmic feature back to the very human act of looking up at the night sky. For thousands of years, long before we knew about galaxies or voids, people have been looking at this patch of sky. They traced the patterns of the stars, connecting the dots to form pictures, to tell stories. The constellation of Bodas is often depicted as a herdsman or a plowman, following the Big Dipper, which is part of the constellation Ursa Major, the Great Bear. He holds a staff or a sickle, and he is often associated with the bright star Arcturus, one of the brightest stars in our night sky. It is a familiar, comforting presence, a landmark in the changing seasons of the sky. There is a beautiful, poignant irony in the fact that this familiar, ancient pattern, a symbol of guidance and agriculture and human endeavor, is our celestial signpost for the largest, emptiest, and most inhuman scale feature we have ever discovered. When you look towards Bodas, you are looking past the nearby stars of our own galaxy, past Arcturus, which is only 37 light years away, and your gaze is continuing on for 700 million light years, piercing into the heart of this great nothing. It is a reminder that our night sky is a place of incredible depth. It is not a flat dome with stars painted on it. It is a window, and what lies beyond the window pane, in the far, far distance, is more strange and wonderful than our ancestors could ever have dreamed. So let us connect with that ancient human tradition of stargazing. Imagine yourself lying in a field on a clear, dark night. You find the Big Dipper, and you follow the arc of its handle to find the bright, orange-tinted star, Arcturus. You have found the constellation of Bodas, and as you look at that familiar shape, you can now hold a new piece of knowledge, a new layer of wonder. You know that you are looking in the direction of the void. You are looking towards the great nothing. Let this connection between the ancient and the modern, the human scale and the cosmic scale, bring a sense of continuity and wonder. We are part of a long chain of beings who have looked up at the sky and wondered. And tonight, our wondering has taken us farther than ever before. As we continue our serene drift, let's address a common misconception. Is the Buddha's void a hole in the universe? The language we use can sometimes be misleading. It's not a hole in the sense of a puncture in a fabric with something else on the other side. It is very much a part of our universe. It is made of the same space-time. It is governed by the same laws of physics, and it originated from the same Big Bang as everything else. It is simply a region that, through the processes of cosmic evolution, ended up with a severe deficit of matter. It's more accurate to think of it not as a hole, but as a vast cosmic low-pressure system. In weather maps, you have regions of high pressure and low pressure. The high pressure systems are the galaxy clusters and filaments, where matter is dense. The voids are the low pressure systems, where matter is sparse. Both are essential parts of the overall atmospheric system. Similarly, the cosmic web and the voids are two sides of the same coin, essential components of the large-scale structure of the universe. One cannot exist without the other. The very existence of the dense filaments requires the existence of the empty voids from which matter has been drawn. They define each other. This understanding removes any sense of menace or strangeness from the void. It is not an anomaly. It is not a mistake. It is a natural and necessary part of the cosmic landscape. It belongs here, just as much as our own galaxy does. This perspective allows us to see the void not as nothing, but as a different expression of the universe's character. The universe expresses itself through brilliant quasars and swirling galaxies, but it also expresses itself through quiet, expansive stillness. To truly appreciate the whole, we must appreciate all of its parts, the loud and the quiet, the full and the empty. So let go of the idea of the void as a whole. Instead, embrace it as a whole and complete part of the cosmic tapestry, with its own unique beauty, its own purpose, and its own story to tell. Let this sense of belonging, of the void's rightful place in the grand scheme of things, deepen your sense of peace and acceptance. Everything is exactly as it should be. Let us explore the sensation of temperature in the Buddha's void. While we are traveling with our minds and are not subject to the physical dangers of space, we can still imagine what it would feel like. The concept of temperature in a near vacuum is complex. It's not like the air temperature in a room. Here, the dominant factor is radiation. The most significant source of thermal energy, as we have learned, is the cosmic microwave background, the afterglow of the Big Bang. This radiation bathes the entire universe, including the void, in a uniform energy field that corresponds to a temperature of about 2.7 degrees Kelvin, that is 2.7 degrees Celsius, above absolute zero, the theoretical point at which all atomic motion ceases. This is incredibly cold, far colder than anything on Earth. Minus 270 degrees Celsius, or minus 455 degrees Fahrenheit. So, the baseline environment of the void is one of profound, deep cold. However, it is not the biting, stinging cold you might feel in a blizzard, because there is no air, there is no convection to steal heat from your body. The transfer of heat would happen very slowly, through radiation alone. An object floating in the void would gradually radiate away its own heat into the endless dark, slowly cooling until it reached equilibrium with the cosmic microwave background. It would be a slow, gentle, and final cooling, a gradual release of energy into the vastness. There is a certain peace in this idea, a process of coming into balance with the most ancient and fundamental energy of the universe itself. Think of it as a final, deep relaxation, a letting go of all excess energy, of all heat and activity, until a state of perfect, still equilibrium is achieved. We can embrace this concept of a deep, peaceful cold. It is not the uncomfortable cold of winter, but the clarifying, purifying cold of deep space, It is the temperature of stillness, the temperature of eternity. Let the imagined sensation of this profound, gentle cold add another layer to your state of relaxation. Let it cool any lingering anxieties, any heated emotions, and bring you to a state of calm, quiet, and peaceful equilibrium, in harmony with the ancient temperature of the cosmos. Let us consider the gravitational landscape of the boundless void. Gravity is the master sculptor of the cosmos, pulling matter together to form stars, galaxies, and the great filaments of the cosmic web. In those dense regions, the gravitational field is complex, lumpy, and powerful. It is a landscape of high peaks and deep valleys. But here, in the void, the gravitational landscape is almost perfectly flat. The lack of matter means there are no significant gravitational peaks or valleys. It is an immense, cosmic plateau. Floating here, we would be in a state of near-perfect freefall, not subject to the pull of any particular large object, but only to the incredibly faint, averaged-out gravitational influence of the universe as a whole. This has a fascinating consequence. The Buddha's void acts as a cosmic accelerator. Imagine a tiny particle, or even a stray galaxy, that happens to be near the edge of the void. The gravitational pull from the dense walls of the cosmic web behind it is stronger than the pull from the empty void in front of it. The net result is a gentle but persistent push away from the dense regions and into the void. And once inside, the pull from all the surrounding walls of the cosmic web more or less cancels out. However, because of dark energy, the walls are accelerating away from the center of the void. This creates a subtle gravitational gradient, a gentle slope running from the center of the void outwards. This phenomenon is known as the Sachs-Wolf effect. It means that the void is not just empty, it is gravitationally repulsive on the largest scales. It actively pushes things away. It is a place that values its solitude. This doesn't contradict the laws of gravity. It's a consequence of them in the context of an accelerating, expanding universe. So, the flatness of the gravitational field here is not a boring feature. It is a dynamic, active state. The void is not just passively empty. It is actively maintaining its emptiness. Let this idea of a gentle, cosmic push, a subtle, outward flowing energy, add to your sense of release and relaxation. Imagine any tension in your body being gently pushed away, dissolved into the vastness. Feel yourself becoming lighter, more buoyant, as if you are floating on a gentle cosmic river that flows from the center of this immense, peaceful space. Let's imagine one of the most sublime and unlikely sights possible within the Buddha's void, a supernova. Even in this incredibly sparse region, there are stars, and some of those stars will be massive enough to end their lives in a spectacular explosion. The 60 or so galaxies here are not dead. They are still forming stars, albeit very slowly. So, it is inevitable that, from time to time, one of them will go supernova. Imagine us, floating in the perfect darkness, and then, in the far, far distance, from within one of the lonely island galaxies, a new star appears. A point of light that, for a few brilliant weeks, outshines all the other billions of stars in its host galaxy combined. It would be an event of breathtaking beauty and profound significance. A single dramatic flash of light in a realm defined by darkness. a final, defiant shout of a dying star into the great silence. The light from this supernova would travel outwards in an expanding sphere, moving at the speed of light. For hundreds of millions of years, its journey across the void would be uninterrupted. It would be a perfect, expanding shell of photons, carrying the story of the star's final moments, the elements forged in the heart of that star, the carbon, the oxygen, the iron that are necessary for life, would be blasted out into the pristine, hydrogen-rich gas of that lonely galaxy, enriching it, providing the raw materials for future generations of stars and, perhaps, planets. A supernova in the Buddha's void would be a deeply poignant event. It is an act of creation and dispersal happening in the most isolated of environments. It is a reminder that the cycle of life and death, of creation and destruction, continues everywhere in the universe, even in its most forgotten corners. The light from that explosion might never be seen by any intelligent eye. It might simply continue its journey, eventually striking the far wall of the cosmic web hundreds of millions of years later, a faint, ancient message from a lonely place. But the event happened nonetheless. It was real. It was beautiful. Let us hold this image in our minds. A single brilliant flower of light, blooming for a few short weeks in the infinite dark field of the void, a symbol of the universe's undying creativity and its capacity for beauty in the most unexpected of places. As our time in the Buddha's void begins to draw to a close, let us prepare for our return journey. But before we leave, let's take one last, long look around. Let us try to commit this feeling, this sensation of profound peace and scale, to memory. This is a place that teaches us a different kind of cosmic appreciation. We are often drawn to the spectacular, the brilliant colors of a nebula, the majestic swirl of a galaxy, the fiery dance of a star. But the void teaches us the beauty of the subtle, the beauty of the understated. It is the beauty of negative space in a painting, the silence between the notes in a piece of music. It is the emptiness that gives form and meaning to the fullness. Without the voids, the cosmic web would just be a uniform, undifferentiated haze. The voids are what carve the universe into the beautiful, intricate structure we see. They are the artists, and the galaxies are the paint. By journeying here, we have gained a more complete picture of our universe. We have seen both sides of its personality, the vibrant, energetic, and creative side, and the quiet, contemplative, and peaceful side. Both are essential. Both are beautiful. As we begin to drift back towards the edge of the void, carry this new appreciation with you. The memory of this place can be a sanctuary for your mind. Whenever you feel overwhelmed by the noise and complexity of the world, you can close your eyes and return here to the heart of the great nothing. You can remember the feeling of floating in the perfect, velvety darkness. You can remember the deep, absolute silence. You can remember the humbling sense of scale that puts everything into perspective. The Buddha's void is now a part of your inner landscape. It is a mental tool for finding peace, for finding clarity, for finding stillness. It is a gift from the cosmos, a reminder of the peace that underlies all of the chaos. Let's begin our journey back, not with a sense of leaving, but with a sense of carrying the essence of the void with us. The silence and the peace of this place are now yours to keep. Our imaginary vessel now turns slowly, gracefully, in the silent dark. We begin our journey back towards the distant shore of light from which we came. The motion is gentle, effortless. We are leaving the heart of the void behind us. For a long time, the view remains unchanged. The darkness is still absolute in every direction. But we are moving with purpose now, back towards the world of matter and light. As we travel, we can reflect on the journey. We have crossed a space so vast that it challenges the very limits of our comprehension. We have floated in a silence so profound that it allowed us to hear the subtle whispers of the cosmos. We have contemplated the nature of existence, of solitude, of time itself. We have been changed by this journey. We have a new sense of perspective, a new appreciation for both the empty and the full places in our universe and in our lives. Now in the far distance, a faint glimmer begins to appear. It is the first sign of our destination. It is the wall of the cosmic web that marks the boundary of the Buddha's void. At first, it is just a subtle lightening of the blackness in one direction, a barely perceptible hint of a distant dawn. But as we continue our journey, that faint glimmer grows. It resolves itself into a delicate, shimmering lacework of light. The great filaments and superclusters of galaxies, the cosmic city from which we departed, is coming back into view. The sight is breathtaking. After spending so much time in the profound emptiness, the light of the galaxy seems more brilliant, more vibrant, more precious than ever before. It is like seeing a coastline after a long, solitary voyage across a vast ocean. It is a homecoming. The feeling is not one of leaving peace behind, but of bringing peace back to a place of beauty and light. We are bridging the two worlds, carrying the stillness of the void into the vibrant heart of the cosmic web. Let the sight of that distant, shimmering light fill you with a sense of gentle anticipation and joy. The journey through the darkness is ending, and a return to the light is beginning. We are getting closer now. The shimmering wall of light is no longer a distant feature. It is a magnificent, luminous landscape spreading out before us. We can begin to make out individual structures within it, great chain-like filaments of galaxies stretching for hundreds of millions of light years. And where they intersect, the bright, dense knots of galaxy clusters, each containing thousands of member galaxies, all swirling together in a slow, gravitational dance. The contrast with the void we are leaving behind is stark and beautiful. We are moving from a world of profound simplicity back into a world of incredible complexity. We are moving from silence into a symphony of light. The first few stray galaxies, the sentinels at the edge of the void, drift past us. They feel like the first trees you see when you emerge from a vast, open desert into a forest. They are signs of a different kind of reality, a denser, more populated world. As we cross the threshold, leaving the void officially behind us, there is a subtle shift in the feeling of space. The gravitational tides from the immense structures ahead begin to gently pull at us. The radiation from countless stars and active galactic nuclei begins to wash over us once more. The universe feels full again, rich, alive with activity. Let's pause here for a moment, right at the border, and look back. Behind us lies the vast, dark, serene expanse of the Buddha's void. a place of profound peace. In front of us lies the dazzling, intricate, and vibrant structure of the cosmic web, a place of profound beauty and creativity. We are on the shoreline between the two greatest environments the universe has to offer, and we can appreciate them both for what they are. We can appreciate the void for its stillness and the web for its energy. We can appreciate the darkness for the clarity it brings, and the light for the life it supports. This is the balance of the cosmos, the yin and yang of existence, written on the largest possible scale. Holding this sense of balance, of appreciating the whole picture, let us now fully re-enter the cosmic web. Let us plunge back into the river of light, refreshed and renewed by our journey into the great, silent sea. We are now traveling back along the great filaments of the cosmic web. The journey is the reverse of our departure, but our perception is different now. The galaxies that we pass no longer seem like just random points of light. We have a deeper appreciation for the space between them, for the delicate balance of matter and emptiness that gives the universe its form. We are traveling through the Virgo supercluster again, our home territory. We see familiar cosmic landmarks, great clusters of galaxies like Coma and Hercules, each a magnificent city of light. Our own local group, the small cluster of galaxies containing the Milky Way and Andromeda, comes into view. It looks like a small, welcoming harbor after our long journey. As we get closer, the two large spiral galaxies of the local group dominate the view. Our home, the Milky Way, and our neighbor, Andromeda. They are beautiful, majestic structures, swirling disks of stars, gas, and dust. And we are heading for one specific, tiny point within one of them. The journey across intergalactic space is now complete. We are re-entering the borders of our own Milky Way galaxy. We cross its outer halo, a vast, diffuse sphere of old stars and dark matter. We then plunge into the spiral arms, into the dense river of stars that we call home. The sky around us is now filled with stars. No longer are there vast patches of emptiness. We are back in the bustling metropolis. The light is familiar, comforting. We can see the soft glow of distant nebulae, the sharp points of nearby stars. We are navigating back towards our own solar system, a tiny, insignificant system in the grand scheme of the galaxy. But for us, it is everything. The journey is almost over. We have traveled across 700 million light years and back again, all within the peaceful sanctuary of our own mind. We have seen one of the most extreme and profound features of the cosmos, and we are returning with a new sense of wonder and a deep feeling of peace. Let the feeling of homecoming wash over you, the comfort of the familiar, seen through new eyes, with a new and deeper appreciation for its preciousness. Here we are, back in our quiet corner of the Milky Way. Our sun comes into view, no longer just another star, but our star. Its warm, familiar light is a welcome sight. We drift back into our solar system, past the orbits of the outer planets, past the great gas giants and the asteroid belt. We see the inner rocky planets, and among them, a small, beautiful jewel of blue, white, and green, Earth, our home. As we gently descend back through the atmosphere, the vastness of space gives way to the familiar scale of our world. We see the continents, the oceans, the swirling patterns of the clouds. It is a world teeming with life, with complexity, with beauty. It is the ultimate expression of the universe's creative potential, a tiny oasis of order and consciousness in the vast cosmic desert. Let yourself gently return to the feeling of being here, on this planet. Feel the gentle pull of its gravity, a comforting anchor after the weightlessness of our journey. Let the memory of the Buddha's void serve as a final, beautiful contrast. Remember the immense, quiet, and simple emptiness, and then look at the incredible, noisy, and complex fullness of life on Earth. Both are part of the same universe. Both are miraculous. The existence of one makes the other all the more precious. The silence of the void makes the music of life all the sweeter. The emptiness of the void makes the richness of our world all the more valuable. You have journeyed to the edge of comprehension and returned. You have seen the great nothing, and in doing so, you have gained a new perspective on everything. The peace of the void is not something that exists only hundreds of millions of light years away. You have brought it back with you. It is now within you, a quiet, still center that you can access at any time. A memory of the vast, peaceful darkness that underlies all of the brilliant light of existence. Let this final thought guide you into a state of deep, restful, and peaceful sleep. Let us take a few final moments to integrate this journey. We have traveled far, not in body, but in mind, which is the only vessel capable of such a voyage. We began by leaving our familiar world, ascending through the layers of our cosmic neighborhood. We witnessed the grand structure of the universe, the shimmering cosmic web, with its filaments of galaxies like threads of light. This vision of a full and vibrant cosmos was our starting point, the baseline against which we would measure the profound emptiness to come. Our approach to the Buddha's void was a gradual transition, a fading of the cosmic symphony into a deep and resonant silence. We crossed the threshold and found ourselves in a place defined by absence, a sphere of space so vast it defies easy comparison, nearly 330 million light years across. Inside, we discovered that the void was not a place of terrifying nothingness, but one of profound peace. We floated in its velvety darkness, feeling a sense of release and perspective as our earthly concerns dissolved into the immensity around us. We learned that the void is not truly empty, but filled with the subtlest of things, stray atoms, the invisible scaffold of dark matter, and the ancient, gentle warmth of the cosmic microwave background radiation, the afterglow of creation itself. We sought out and found the lonely inhabitants of this cosmic desert, the 60 or so galaxies that exist as isolated islands of light in a vast ocean of night. These resilient, peaceful galaxies taught us about solitude and endurance. We pondered the great mystery of the void's origin, how such a vast emptiness could form, imagining the merging of smaller voids like soap bubbles in a cosmic foam. We experienced the void as a place of ultimate clarity, where time itself seems to stretch and quieten, and where the fundamental nature of space can be felt in its purest form. This journey transformed our understanding of the universe, showing us the beauty of negative space, the importance of the quiet that defines the loud, and the emptiness that gives shape to the full. It became a mirror for our own consciousness, a canvas for meditating on solitude, infinity, and our own precious, unique place in the cosmos. Our return journey was a homecoming, but a homecoming transformed by experience. Seeing the brilliant, intricate walls of the cosmic web reappear after our time in the void was like witnessing a sunrise after a long, dark, and peaceful night. The light seemed more brilliant, the colors more vibrant, the structures more beautiful. We returned with a new appreciation for the complexity and energy of our dense corner of the universe. The balance of the cosmos became clear, the perfect interplay between the serene emptiness of the void and the dynamic fullness of the galactic web. Both are necessary. Both are beautiful parts of a single, magnificent whole. We retraced our steps through the Virgo supercluster, back to our local group, and finally into the familiar, comforting spiral arms of our own Milky Way galaxy. The stars of our home galaxy welcomed us back, not as strangers, but as travelers who had seen something profound. Our final descent to Earth was a return to an oasis, a tiny, precious jewel of life whose value is magnified infinitely by the vast, silent emptiness we had just explored. The journey taught us that perspective is a powerful tool for peace. By mentally placing ourselves in the heart of the great nothing, we can see our own world, our own lives, and our own challenges with a renewed sense of calm and proportion. The Buddha's void is no longer just an astronomical curiosity. It is a mental sanctuary, a touchstone for stillness that we can carry with us always. It is the silent, deep breath of the universe, a breath that we can learn to share. The profound peace we felt in the heart of that emptiness does not need to be left behind in the distant cosmos. It is a state of being, a quietness of mind that we have now cultivated and can access whenever we need it. The journey has concluded, but its resonance remains, a gentle hum of cosmic silence beneath the surface of our thoughts, guiding us toward rest. Let this narrative now become a gentle current, carrying you towards the shores of sleep. The concepts and images we've explored, the shimmering web, the velvety darkness, the lonely galaxies, the absolute silence, are no longer just ideas, but anchors for your relaxation. Let each one be a soft weight, gently pulling you down into a state of deep and restorative rest. Picture the cosmic web, that beautiful, intricate network of light. See it as a representation of your own mind during the day, full of connections, thoughts, and energy. Now picture our journey away from it, a conscious decision to move away from the busyness, to seek a quieter space. Feel that gentle detachment now as you let go of the day's thoughts, allowing them to recede into the distance like those faraway galaxies. Now bring to mind the feeling of entering the Buddha's void. Let that be the sensation of entering the first stage of sleep. A gradual fading of the external world, a deepening sense of peace and quiet. The darkness behind your closed eyelids becomes that profound, velvety darkness of the void. Not an empty black, but a rich, comforting, and safe space. It is a sanctuary where you are free from all demands, all expectations. There's nothing to do here, nothing to solve. There's only being. Remember the feeling of floating, weightless, and free in the center of the void. Let your body feel that same sense of weightlessness now. Feel the mattress supporting you completely, as if you are suspended in a perfect, still equilibrium. Let go of any tension in your muscles, releasing them into this feeling of cosmic buoyancy. Let the silence of the void become the silence of your room, a deep and peaceful quiet that allows your mind to finally rest. If any stray thoughts appear, see them as those tiny, distant galaxies within the void, small, isolated points of light in a vast, dark peace. Acknowledge them gently, and then let your focus return to the vast, comforting emptiness all around them. They are small and far away, and they have no power over the immense tranquility of your resting mind. This journey has prepared you for sleep, aligning your inner state with the most peaceful environment in the universe. The greatest discovery of our journey was not a star, or a planet, or a galaxy. It was a quality, the quality of stillness, the profound, creative, and beautiful power of a quiet space. The Buddha's void, the great nothing, taught us that emptiness is not a lack, but a presence. It is the canvas that makes the painting possible. It is the silence that gives music its meaning. And it is the peace that allows for true rest. We traveled hundreds of millions of light years to find it, but the peace we discovered there was ultimately a reflection of a peace that can exist within ourselves. As you now drift completely into sleep, carry that cosmic stillness with you. Let it be the foundation of your rest, a deep, unshakable quiet that recharges and restores you. Thank you for joining me on this journey to the quietest place in the universe. Your curiosity and imagination made it possible. If this voyage helped you relax and find peace, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel for more lectures for sleep. Click the notification bell so you won't miss our next exploration. And now, a final thought to carry with you into your dreams. If you could send a single one-word message into the heart of the boat's void, a message that would travel forever in its profound silence, what word would you choose? Let your answer drift in the comments below. For now, simply rest, sleep well, and dream of the quiet, beautiful, and infinite universe